Hello, everybody. It's Inner Circle here, Inner Circle time with Mr. Bill. Hey, I wanted to make sure we stayed on target and talk about our getting out of our own way. We all do it, myself included. Shoot, you can talk to some folks that have known me for a long time, and sometimes it just happens. And today I want to start with a quote. Start with a quote. And sorry about being outside. I actually have a conference happening inside, and I want to make sure it's at least stay on target for us. But here's a quote we have. The success is achieved by those who try. And when there's nothing to lose and everything to gain by trying, by all means, try it. The whole idea when we talk about getting in our own way, sometimes we get stuck. We get stuck as far as, okay, we get in the grind or something fails. What it is, it might be an initiative, it might be trying to get that buy-in for the new software. It might be working with some colleagues, and we just have to sometimes just try to figure out, okay, what's wrong? And sometimes we get down on ourselves. Trust me, I grew up the same way. I get it. But when we think about that, there's a word that comes to mind. And it's a word that actually over the last couple of years, I've been able to embrace a lot. And it's called humility. Humility, right? Because most think of it as a negative virtue. They think about, okay, it's being able to say, I'm done. End of story, period. Well, actually, you can use this to your advantage. And talk about getting out of your own way. You have to look at it and understand why this happened, why you actually went down this path, so you can leverage it in the positive aspects. Because what it just helped you do with this failure, what humility allows you to do is you look at it and say, oh, that's where I messed up, or that's the better approach I need to take because of something totally outside of my control. And say it's an initiative, right? And you went to an executive, tried to get buy-in, and you got shot down for that budget approval. Well, realize it was not because you did not have a good idea. It's not because the executive did not want to support you. It's because he did not have enough money to. But you have to think about how that humility is going to force you to put that into action. Now, how are you going to take what you've learned and move forward to the good? Because we have to think about it. And you may have this happen multiple times. One was Thomas Edison. How many times did he have to fail in order to create the light bulb? Lots. You think about it the same way. So if you think about that type from a humility perspective, how it's essential for your personality so you can help drive success. Sorry, I got a helicopter up front. You're distracting me. I'm learning new things here. But it's how you make that happen, because no matter what it may be, it's even more essential for you to have humility so you're able to drive yourself forward. And trust me, as a practitioner, even as a consultant, we hit this all the time with how we work with others, how we have different personalities, how we adjust, how we work different technologies. We may have a technical solution that our vendor is just going to be a royal pain in I'll let you fill in your own word there. And you have to figure out how to move this forward. Maybe it requires an escalation talking to the vendor and vendor sales. Maybe it means something talking with management, escalating it in the project, put a project risk in it because they can't complete what they said they would. That never happens though. But you think about it. How can you move forward? And what humility allows you to do is helps you gain wisdom. It gains wisdom by allowing you to drive, to think about moving forward. You've also learned that wisdom like I have. Shoot, I've been doing asset management now close to 30 years when I first started. Am I still putting on asset tags and everything, including diskettes? No. There were some lessons learned like that. Now, did I come up with that initial idea myself? I didn't. It was someone else. But that's there. But how do you tag it? How do you look at it? How do you move forward, right? Because it's impossible. It's not possible to find the seed to help you drive that greater benefit, because you're going to always have adversaries. You're going to have defeats. You have to think about how you're overcoming that. That's where you drive your own power, because keep in mind, we're the engine, we're the power plant. The power plant helps drive the initiative. How can you help be that power plant and make sure you're as positive you can be to drive and move the team forward? Your stakeholders need you more than ever. Shoot, we have the pandemic here. How crazy can it be? I'll magnify like 1,000 times. But my point is, you're still the rock. If you're the rock, you're able to do that, because humility knows no limitations. no limitation at all. And it's a positive force. So don't overlook it. For it might be small, but it's the vital part and that vital ingredient of your greatness. So think about that today. Think about your greatness. Think about how you're able to drive that forward. That's going to be my inner circle little tidbit for you today. How can you drive your own greatness? How can you drive the greatness so it actually exuberance exudes from you? You have that initiative that people want to be around you. Kind of like doing a presentation. Practice, practice, practice. The only way to, for example, for bands, the only way to Carnegie Hall, right? But for practicing, that's how you become more proficient. So as a practitioner, sometimes, again, we get stuck in a corner and we don't find a way out. But how can we drive that? How can we make that happen? Trust me, I've been there with you. I've been there where I worked under someone. They would not allow me to talk to anybody else in the organization. However, when I had the opportunity, did I go ahead and float around and talk to someone else's desk? I did. Was it the best thing I ever did? Absolutely. Did I find initiatives that invalidate assumptions that were invalid? Absolutely. Did we have a lot of fun doing it? Absolutely. Did I find my biggest supporter ever that was never seen before and deemed as a limitation? Absolutely. So think about it. How can you drive yourself forward? And humility is going to be part of it because we all have failures. So here's a story I have for you. And one of my scouts, I helped go Eagle Scout, and that Eagle rank's the highest rank you get scouting. He came back from attending West Point. He was able to get in West Point. He actually just graduated, but that's a whole different story. But I asked him after his first semester there, I asked him the question. I said, what was the one thing that you learned the most at West Point your first year? And keep in mind, this individual is very loud, exuberant, very much driving, and he just loved it. He says, Mr. Talbot, humility. West Point taught me humility, and I will never forget that. Final note, that was from a youth, and I just love it because it drives into our message here. Learn how to do humility. Learn how to further drive it and move yourself forward. Until next time, I'll talk to you then.